U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Cenmass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here's your host, Rod Williams.
We're back. It seems we're not so deplorable or unredeemable after all. It's Saturday, November 12th, and I am Rod Williams here with my pal, Farmer Greg Barkley, and my other pal, Dave Welch. And Donald Trump is the president-elect. Even before Trump takes the oath of office on January 20th of next year, he has already made history. In 240 years of our republic, not one person has ever been elected to the presidency without having served in public office or as a general in the army. This is the first time. How about that? So, you know what? We got a private guy that's not part of the establishment in any way as a president. This is going to be a groundbreaker. On Election Day, the American people picked one of the best-known businessmen in the nation to become the 45th president. The news completely flummoxed the media and the political establishment. They were almost all wrong. Shakespeare has often been quoted about killing all the lawyers, but I think we should just simply say kill all the political experts. So, you know, why is Trump going to be a good president? He's got he's a pragmatist. He's not an ideologue. He believes in ideas. He's going to be a policy president. Some presidents enjoy managerial aspects of the job, but they usually end up as disasters, like Jimmy Carter. Trump will be more of a results-oriented guy, so he's probably gonna be pretty bipartisan. He wasn't always a Republican. He was a Democrat for a long time, so he might be able to see both sides. He's been a winner all his life. You don't become a billionaire if you're not a winner, and so I want a winner on my team, and I like that. Trump realizes that the Supreme Court needs to be conservative, and I hope he passes that test. Foreign policy reset, we really need one, you know, and I think he's going to end up being the people's president. As much as all the crybabies want to cry about him, I think that in the end, it's going to be good for our country. It looks like we got the president. It looks like we got the House of Representatives, the Senate. When you roll them all together, you know, you call that the Congress. In the Senate and House, there's still a Republican establishment that we all know and wasn't much of a help to Trump to get elected. But I think for now, he's going to try to put that behind him. And I hope he just cuts off their heads if they don't help him get some things done. Here's his 100-day agenda. In the first 100 days, the things that he wants to do. And I would hope that, like I said, if this establishment, Republican Congress and Senate don't help him, that he just completely goes after him, because I think he's going to be benevolent for now in the interest of getting things done. But I think, and I'm going to put these 100 things in my briefcase, and I'm going to remember them in 100 days from now. We're going to see how this guy does. But, you know, and I'm going to read off a couple of these. I think this one's off The Nation, an article by Virginia Curta. Propose a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on all members of Congress, a hiring freeze on all federal employees, reduce the federal workforce through attrition. I like that. We need less federal employees and more private ones. A requirement that every new federal regulation that two existing ones need eliminated. Boy, does that make sense. A 5-year ban on White House and congressional officials becoming lobbyists. Boy, does that need to happen. A lifetime ban on White House officials lobbying on behalf of foreign governments. A complete ban on foreign lobbyists raising money for American elections. Hello, Clintons. I will announce my intention to renegotiate NAFTA. I will announce our withdrawal from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Well, that's a done deal. I will direct my Secretary of the Treasury to label China as a currency manipulator. I will direct the Secretary of Commerce, U.S. Trade, respect and identify all foreign trading abuses. Can you hear me rattling papers? I will lift the restrictions on the production of the $50 trillion worth of job-producing American energy reserves. I will lift the Obama-Clinton roadblocks that allow energy infrastructure projects like the Keystone Pipeline to move forward. I will cancel billions in payments to the UN. Let me out of the UN. That's my mantra. Cancel every unconstitutional executive order and memorandum issued by Obama. I hope he I know he'll begin the process selecting a replacement for Justice Scalia. Cancel all federal funding to sanctuary cities. Begin removing more than 2 million criminal illegal immigrants. They say criminal illegals, not just everyone that's ever came here. Suspend immigration from terror-prone regions. And then there's other things he wants to do. His tax plan, tariffs to prevent jobs from going overseas, a revenue and natural energy plan, a school choice plan. That I'd like to see him get Ben Carson or somebody working on that. Repeal for Obamacare. There's just the wall. He'll work on the wall. These are some of the things. I got another article here. Let me reiterate a couple of more. Again, cancel Obama's education action and immigration and gun control. Ask Congress immediately to deliver a full repeal of Obamacare. Look, it's just awesome. I hope if he gets half of this stuff done in his whole presidency, I'll be happy. And that would be wishful thinking for most presidential candidates.
They were already giving him a little bit of a hard time on the Obamacare. He was kind of reneging on a few little niggly items, but
there's something, he likes the thing that you can stay with your parents till you're 26.
For kids and
you can put some caveat. Is what he needs to do is turn it back over to private insurance companies, destroy the state line thing where they can't cross state lines with insurance companies so that you can get the best price, and then make some sort of federal law that insurance companies got to allow you to keep your kids, because our kids stay at home longer. We wouldn't need that, but they've destroyed the economy to the point that no one can make their own way till they're more than 26 years old now. So
isn't that crazy?
Maybe we make
Used
that
to be
caveat.
18, 21.
He's going to need a good cabinet staff to get any of this done. And what he needs to stay away from is all the bunch of giant neocons sucking up to him, trying to weasel their way back in there. I see old Chris Christie trying to get in there.
They yanked him though.
And they're going to be, they spanked him down, but everyone's trying to suck up to him now. It's funny how there's an anti-Trump thing, and then half the anti-Trumpers are now sucking up to him. Yeah. Let's just say
everybody's coming out. Even other countries are calling him now and wanting to renegotiate NAFTA.
I have a big fear that he's going to get sucked up with Priebus being the chief of staff. And Priebus, I don't know if you've heard him speak. He helped him get elected. I'm the first guy to admit that.
Yeah.
But when Priebus speaks, it's just like hearing the typical Washington insider political hack just going on, never says nothing. I think I love the idea of Ben Carson, Rudy Giuliani, Newt Gingrich make great advisors, as well as Dick Morris. The Tea Party has warned against having Priebus because he is a Washington insider, and I just can't stand the guy. I know he helped him get elected, but he's just when I hear him speak, he's part of the problem. Trump needs to stay away from that particular neocon.
Yeah, he's got to be careful, and they were even also complaining he was starting to bring some Wall Street people in for the financial part too. But I truly think at the end of the day, he's going to do what's right. And I think at the end of 4 years, he's really going to go down as one of the best presidents ever.
Look, folks, I want to hear from you today and know what you think about this election. And if you're happy as I am about Trump getting elected, you can call show at 247-CALL. That's 247-2255. I had a couple people. I noticed I found some stuff that was on social media that I just thought was great. Well, first thing, here's some people that they're talking about for his cabinet, and I like some of these, and I don't like others. Secretary of State Newt Gingrich, Secretary of Treasury, who I love, Newt. Treasury Steve Mnuchin, I think it's pronounced, and I don't really know much about him. Secretary of Defense Michael Flynn, formerly head of DIA. Not CIA, but Defense Intelligence. I don't know, again, a lot about him. Rudy Giuliani, former New York mayor, was a former prosecutor, brought basically organized crime to its knees. I love Rudy Giuliani.
He'd be good for the FBI.
There's a good guy, yeah. He'd be a great attorney general. Secretary of Homeland Security, Jeff Sessions. He was with Trump right from the start, first guy to back him. I like that. Secretary of Education, Ben Carson. Yoo-hoo, that's my man right there.
Yeah,
I love Ben Carson.
Everybody's getting behind him.
Secretary of Health, Betsy McCauley. I don't know her. Chairman. At any rate, it looks like there's some good people that are being considered, and I hope he goes with them. I just stay away from the suck-up neocons, Donald. Look, we're going to take a break. You are listening to Power Talk on 96.7 FM and 1400 AM, and this is Cenmass.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Center Mass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here again is Rod Williams.
You are back with the Patriots on Center Mass on Power Talk with yours truly and Farmer Greg Barkley. You can also hear our show on podcast simply by searching Power Talk 96.7, opening up the website, clicking on demand, and from there, Center Mass. You can hear our show when out of town on iHeartRadio on the internet. Lots of big things coming soon. You will soon be able to check us out on our new website, cenmass.com. That's CENMASS.com. We will be hosting a whole bunch of podcasts and videos and internet radio show that will be off the hook. You'll love it. You can see us on YouTube. Some of these I'm sure will be on there and other formats. It will be cool. You need to check it out, cenmass.com. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms at 2135 Whitendale Avenue in Visalia at the corner of Mooney and Whitendale behind the 76 station. You can call our store at 734-ARMS. That's 734-2767, or just come in and visit with Mr. Woomer and myself. This segment of our show is brought to you by Ed Morton at Keller & Williams Realty. Give them a call at 859-4840, BRE number 014094444. Ed is an awesome realtor. He actually answers his phone when you call. And for any of you realtors that don't like it when I say that, you ought to answer your phones when people call, but you don't. But Ed does. I want to know what you think, so call me at 247-CALL. That's 247-2255. Okay, on to the next thing Trump should do, and is the next big promise that he shouldn't break. And this one I'm all over like a wet blanket. He had a debate, and in that debate, he looked over at his opponent, and he says, I will prosecute the Clinton Mafia. There's still 5 ongoing investigations for the Clinton Mafia and their friends and their cronies. 5 of them. Now, look, I got to read something that I found on the internet before I get into the Clinton Mafia. In the last segment, I was talking about the things Trump wants to do in his first 100 days. And this is what someone on the internet said. This guy's name was Nazmo King. And he started, build the wall, stop foreign aid to Mexico until the wall is built. Assign Rudy as Attorney General. Instruct Rudy to have the FBI find anything and everything they can do to George Soros. Not that Vladimir Putin might not find him first and there will be no more George Soros. Use that confiscated wealth from George Soros to build the wall. Direct Homeland and ICE to start doing their damn jobs under the law and aggressively hunt down and remove illegals that are criminals. Prosecute the Clinton crime family. Withdraw America from the UN. Kick the UN off American soil. Withdraw the U.S. from AGW agreements. Take a machete to all of Obama's regulations and executive orders. Trash the fair housing BS. Reduce taxes across the board and corporate taxes to an incentive to manufacturing and return to America. Ferret out all the subversive federal employees and fire them. Half these guys are in the tank for the liberals that work for the government. Get rid of them. Get some people in there that'll appreciate getting a check and not just think that you work for them. Neuter the IRS, EPA, and the Department of Education and burn the ACA. God bless President Trump. Now, here's a legacy that Obama left us, according to someone named John the Magnum. Destroyed our national sovereignty, destroyed our healthcare system, destroyed the sanctity of marriage, turned race relations back about 100 years, attacked the police and praised the criminals, quadrupled the number of people found on food stamps, restarted the Cold War, destroyed our allies and supported our enemies, turned our military into a gay bathhouse, reverted the Middle East back into the Middle Ages, turned the IRS, the NSA into the KGB, doubled the national debt, infested America with foreign diseases, wasted billions of taxpayer dollars on the scum of global warming, the scam, same thing. Greatly empowered and supported Islamic radicals, flooded America with illegal aliens and Muslims and illegal African immigrants, have not good things in mind when they get here, and took over the internet and sold your internet out. That you can't keep it anymore. Hey, I love what those people had to say. Amen to that. Trump aides says no decision on prosecuting Clinton right now. I don't like this story. This is coming from Edition United States, and it says, look at Trump. Don't unify at the expense of your word. Donald, you were elected for a reason. We expect you to do it. We're going to hold you accountable. Recently, President Donald Trump's campaign manager when they said that there's no discussion of appointment of a prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton past practices while serving as president, Barack Obama, Secretary of State, a threat Trump made in an earlier election. Look, I don't care. They're criminals. They were criminals at the beginning of the election, and they still are. Hey, we got Dennis on line 1. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. How are you?
Great, buddy. How are you? Are you
Man,
happy about
super
Trump?
happy. You have no. You guys all know we live here in the People's Republic of California, and just the Supreme Court alone is going to push a lot of the legislation we have pending here, I think, in the right direction at least.
I think so too. We need to get our state back somehow, but this is a step in that direction.
Maybe we could just chop I-5 West off. That'd be great. That'd be a good start. But okay, I digress.
I say we chop the state into about 6 parts and make a couple of them conservative.
I agree.
Make 6 different states out of it.
The healthcare thing, you guys touched on a couple things, and unfortunately, you guys picked the 2 things that are going to be really hard for Trump, I think. Number 1, pre-existing conditions. I know you have insurance on your store, but let's say you didn't. Now your store's on fire. You call the insurance company with the store burning in the background and say, hey, guys, I need insurance. If you're talking free market, nobody wants to write an insurance policy while the store's on fire, right? That's the problem with pre-existing conditions. I don't know what the answer is, but it doesn't work too good in a free market.
You're right. The world always wants a panacea, but sometimes the big reality pill's hard to swallow. It's like Trump's campaign.
That's right.
Trump campaign song was, "You can't always get what you want. Sometimes you just get what you need," and that may be you're right. That may be the reality. Can't do everything.
That's going to be tough. And your 26-year-old at home. You know, I know we want to keep them on their insurance policy, but you know what? Young people are typically a really good bet in insurance. They could probably go out, they're healthy anyway, they can probably go out and get insurance for if I'm in a car accident. I don't need insurance if I need to get the oil changed in my car. I don't need insurance if I have a cold. You just got to pay for those things.
You're right. You know, it's what I see the 26-year-old thing should happen is they should probably make it where if you choose to have your kid remain on your policy, there's a tool for doing that, but you'll pay an increased premium to have another person on your policy, keeping in mind that that person's younger and not as likely to use the insurance as much, and they can do a reduced rate. There's ways to solve these issues. It's just, like I said, I just hope he gets half of it done. It's not going to be perfect, and we all know that going into it.
For sure. Thanks for taking the call.
Thanks, Dennis. God bless, buddy. So that, Dennis, that's a good call. We won't get everything we want, but we need to get some things. And I'll tell you, one of the main ones I want him to prosecute, I don't care what you want to call it, the Clintons, their email scandals, Anthony Weiner investigation, the Podesta brothers still being investigated, Clinton Foundation probe, Terry McAuliffe campaign donations. I mean, it goes on and on. The whole WikiLeaks thing, I mean, there's no end to it. They need to prosecute the Clinton mafia. Don't let them off the hook. Don't play politics. That's what we're sick of. That's why we elected you, Mr. Donald.
Well, they still got Trey Gowdy going, and he's still going deep on the foundation. I was just reading right now. I just pulled up on the internet. He's one of the main people up for Attorney General, and if he gets in as Attorney General, he's going to continue to go after the Clintons regardless.
I wonder if Giuliani would. He had no trouble going after the Italian mafia and destroyed them.
Yep.
So I think he could probably do a good job on the Clinton mafia. We won this. We the people versus the ruling class elitists. Pat yourselves on the back, America. I don't know how much California patting can go on because we pretty much screwed the pooch on everything here.
We always do.
But we're going to fix that. That's coming next. That's my next project. Fix California. Let's not lose the presidency and our gains back to them over time and not accomplish anything. Trump needs to be a little cool with the Republican establishment, but God forbid they don't help him. He don't want to have to take a page out of Barack Obama's executive order, Saul Alinsky playbook. He needs to get it done the right way so that we can hold our heads up while we do it. And we got a Republican Congress or Republican, and they need to come through. And if they don't come through, Donald, listen to me, brother. Drain the swamp. It's your phrase. You coined it. Drain the swamp. If they don't play ball, drain the scum out of the swamp, flush them down the drain, and off they go. And they can find some other country to screw up. Starting with the super weasel Paul Ryan. I don't care how much he goes on your big rear end, Donald. He needs to go away. There's people that don't exactly want him to be Speaker of the House. He's not a shoo-in for that. Republican Congressman Tom Massey says Speaker Paul Ryan does not presently have his vote for the House. We need change, Massey explained. If it came to that, I would do it. Massey said in a podcast on Reasons with Nick Gillespie. So in a few days until November 15th, there'll be a nomination for, he's not necessarily a shoo-in. I think that they should really take a hard look at whether Paul Ryan needs to still.
Well, we talked about this on way up here. It's, I think a lot of things are going to change. He's kind of schmoozing right now just because he's got to make this transition. He's got a lot of things to get in place. And so I think once he's in that White House and once he gets his feet in, I think you're going to start seeing this stuff start coming, because that's just Donald Trump. I'm sorry, but he ran it all the way to the end. He never gave in to all these people that tried to tell him to be more presidential, more, apologetic and all this crap. And he rode it all the way to the White House. And to think he's going to change now, I just can't see it. He's going to be who he is.
I never can figure out what the pressures these guys get elected to do the right thing. And I never can figure out what pressures they put on these guys, but they always seem to turn them. It's almost satanic. It's like Satan just comes in there. Okay, we're going to turn this one over.
I don't think he'll be one that will do it.
Look, folks, we need to take a break. So call us, 247-CALL, 247-2255. This is Center Mass on Power Talk 96.7 FM, 1400 AM, and we'll be right back.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Center Mass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Once again, Rod Williams.
Back with the Powerhouse on Power Talk. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms, 2135 Whitendale Avenue in Visalia. And yes, it is Whitendale, not Whitendale. Just ask the Whitendales and they'll tell you. At the corner of Mooney and Whitendale behind the 76 station, you can call our store at 734-ARMS. That's 734-2767. Mr. Woomer is waiting there to make you a great deal on any gun you want. Well, you can still get one. We buy, we sell, we trade, we take consignments. Come and see me. If you need a gun fixed or cleaner, maybe a scope mounted, we have a gunsmith, so come down and see us. Or give us a call at 734-ARMS. That's 734-2767. If you want the lowest price on any gun you want, I know how you can get it. But I mean exactly what I say. You got to call us and do a guns by appointment deal. You call us, you mention that it's guns by appointment, that you heard it on the radio. You have to know exactly what you want. It's not a shopping experience, guns by appointment. You tell us what you want, we'll give you the lowest possible price because we don't have a lot invested. We're doing it over the phone. And then you come in and pay for it. We'll order it for you. You'll get it cheaper. That's the cheapest way you can get a gun from us. They're going to cost more if you come in there looking. You need to call and say, I want to buy a gun by appointment. Soon you'll be able to check out our new website, cenmass.com. That's CENMASS.com. It's going to have all kinds of awesome content like this radio show and a bunch of other stuff. We can have more time. We'll take our time. We'll discuss a lot of different issues in greater depth. We'll have some cool videos on shooting and experiences and maybe even some, how to do this or that to your gun. There's just going to be a lot of cool content on there. We're really anxious for it to get it going, and it's kind of getting started now. So just keep checking cenmass.com. Check us out on Facebook, our U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms Facebook. You can call the show right now at 247-CALL, 247-2255. A couple of things Trump should look out for. He needs to be hard-nosed when it comes to negotiating NAFTA and some of this other stuff with Mexico and whatnot. These guys want to get over on him, folks. And Trump's, if he's good at anything, it's negotiating. That's what's made him the millions, and that's what's put him where he is now. So, first one I got, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. That's Canada's version of a liberal douchebag. Thursday says he's willing to negotiate the North American Free Trade Agreement with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. He said he wants to change or scrap it, Well, during the campaign, Trump called NAFTA the worst trade deal the United States has ever signed, which it is, while proposing protectionist measures that repatriate American jobs to lost free trade. Well, I think it's important that they do negotiate the trade deal with the liberal from Canada, and I hope Trump just breaks it off in them when they renegotiate it, and I'm sure he will. I'll tell you what, the first thing Trump should do if they want a good trade deal is make Canada go ahead and let all these liberal Hollywood actors that are whining about wanting to move out of the United States because Trump got elected. Trump should make Canada, if they want a good trade deal, let them all in. Say, take them off our hands and we'll make you a good trade deal.
An express visa to just go. Well, did you see where they showed his plane the other day and said if you want to go to Canada or Mexico, he'll pay for your plane ticket?
Yeah, Alex Jones, InfoWars, he's got a deal too where by a plane. I don't think they give you a one-way flight and then they give you a class while you're up there that you get to jump out and they just push you out over Canada. Canada or Bus, there it is. Canada or Bus airline offers anti-Trump celebrities free flights to Canada. Alex Jones, CEO of Tennessee-based, InfoWars, offering a free one-way flight to Canada for Hollywood celebrities. Promise to leave the country. I hope they get it. In a podcast that he did, it's really funny. All these celebrities, Miley Cyrus, Alex Baldwin, all these people. He's going to fly them across the north border on a Falcon 9000 jet, and then individuals said they want to move to Canada. Then, like I said, he's going to give them all a parachute and out they go. I'm not going to read the whole article. We just don't have time, but it's hilarious. You should check that out. I love Alex Jones and InfoWars. He's no conspiracy theorist. That guy's for real, brother. I'm telling you, I like that guy. I don't look at him like he's any competition to me. He's the guy I'm learning from. Mexico City is willing to modernize the North. Mexico City, Mexican president speaking. Mexico's willing to modernize the North American Free Trade Agreement with the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, incoming administration, and Canada also, but will not negotiate the pact. The foreign minister said. Mexico's foreign minister, this is from me to you. You're an idiot. You'll renegotiate it. In fact, you're going to build us a wall, Turbo. I got news for you. You ain't in any position to be dictating anything. You want to call the shots. That's not going to happen. You depend on us. We don't depend on you, you idiot. Foreign Minister Claudia Ruiz Masuli, or whatever your name is, said Massa yielded great results. Yeah, for you it did. Not for our people. You send your unwanted people over here to steal our jobs, and you want a trade agreement that works in your favor. Trump's going to change that, Turbo. So get ready. You're not calling the shots, you idiots. The gall of these people.
Well, look at all the businesses that have gone down, all the corporations that have gone down to Mexico and gotten everything for nothing.
Yeah,
all their labor, everything else, all the manufacturing that went down there, GM and
those jobs
Ford
are coming back here. I'll pay a little.
Yeah, now that they got to pay, they're going to be paying tariffs to bring their stuff back across the border.
I'll pay a few more dollars for everything to have it made here because I'll have a few more dollars because everyone will have a job. They'll be coming into my store and buying stuff, and I'll have a few more dollars. I'll happily pay a few more dollars for American-made goods.
Absolutely,
I do it right now. I'm telling you, Mr. Barkley, this is no sucking up, Donald. Especially these chumps, bunch of chumps. Mexican foreign minister. Who's he think he is?
I like that they all have to, all of a sudden, he was some idiot. Now all of a sudden they're calling him. I think everybody's scared. I really truly think because nobody knows what he's going to do, and they're all petrified.
They ought to be scared.
They should be, and that's the one good thing.
They'd be scared because I'd be kicking some ass. I think Trump's going to, too.
Go ahead.
Trans-Pacific Partnership is dead. Well, we knew that. As soon as, Obama's signature global trade deal, the Screw America Hard deal, is on life support, as both Democrats and Republicans hated this one. Anyone could see through this. Even the schmo Democrats didn't like this one. But there's no way to fix it, and it's gone. The only people that wanted it were like mega retailers like Walmart and Dick's Sporting Goods, because it was killing American manufacturing, but it was making them rich. A coalition of them, the Walmart, JCPenney's, the Gap, Michael Kors, say global elitists look at the people who own these places. Each sent letters to Congress in support of it. But, they try to make all these arguments, but all it does is steal jobs from our country, make them richer. Yep. It floods the market with cheap foreign goods that aren't worth a crap, and it needs to go away, and it is going away. What this really means is Just that. It just doesn't flood us with foreign goods, and it lets us keep some jobs here in our country.
Well, it's like the stock market. Everybody was trying to say, "Oh, it's going to collapse and it's all going to be, crazy when if he gets elected." We're setting records right now. It was collapsing. Had a 9-day stretch where it had collapsed worse than in 1980, and now it's on a record high,
Well, yeah.
just skyrocketing now
Yeah.
since he's gotten in. So
Because it's over with. All the liberals are crying. Miley Cyrus is crying on the internet, and all
yeah.
and the protesters.
They're
In fact,
losing
let's
their
talk about
minds.
protesters, Mr. Barkley.
Go for it.
The protesters, as I prefer, or the protesters, or as I prefer to call them, the communist financed anarchists. The Move On, by MoveOn.org, which is George Soros. They're the same bunch of clowns that are the Occupy this, Occupy that, Black Lives Matter. There's no difference in any of these folks. It's the same bunch of non-working wannabe college students whose useless, lazy college professors let them skip class so they can go protesting, and they get literally paid to do it by George Soros through MoveOn.org and other organizations.
Which he's already been proven
They
to have
protest, they use violence, they want to intimidate. They're anarchists. That's all they are. They're doing nothing but intimidation. I'm looking at a little article here. I think this was off of Joe Pag's show or something. He interviewed Milwaukee Sheriff David Clark. There's another one, Progress Unity Fund. These are all deals who pay these people, and they're funded by the Marxist Workers' Party and other communist and socialist donors. It's just the way it is. It's the same bunch every time. I like what this guy had to say, this sheriff. He says that it is anarchy when you protest these things. It's the same people in the Occupy movement. They are anarchists. They just want to disrupt. They don't support law and order. We had somebody's got to win an election, so then they're going to complain. No, our side didn't get out and do anarchy when Obama won in 2008. Didn't do that when he won in 2012. We didn't take to the streets. We didn't riot. We didn't look for an excuse to loot, because we work on this side. We work for a living. We don't need to loot. We don't need a free TV. We can pay for everything we need if you just leave us alone and let us work. We didn't even protest. So,
we finally figured out if we get out and vote, we can finally make a difference. And that's what happened this time. Everybody finally got sick and tired
darn
of
right.
it,
And
so.
someday we're going to actually make a difference when we vote in California. We're going to get this back. It's nothing but intimidation. Mr. Barkley, are you worried about an assassination attempt on President-elect Donald Trump?
Oh, the GoFundMe deal that's been going around, where somebody has put up a thing on a GoFund where they're trying to raise $10 million for the assassination of Trump. And they were talking about wanting it's got to be Hispanic driven, because they were talking about they wanted a Mexican to actually assassinate him.
That's terrible,
to get
because Mexicans,
10 million.
Hispanics in general are very conservative people. They have great values. I'm talking about the people that belong here, that not people sneaking over the border, cartel smuggling drugs. But I'm talking about your average Hispanic that lives here in this country as American citizen.
I agree.
Has the same best values, and in California especially, we need to reach out to the Hispanic population and make them understand that they need to be libertarian, conservative, and get on the right voting side, and not get sucked into a narrative, because they'll really like it. What's going to happen.
I was just rehashing
There's even
the report of
hashtags out there
what they were doing, though.
There's even hashtags out there about assassinating Trump. You go on with a bunch of conservative views, and they take you right off them websites, but you can put all this stuff. It takes a minute to get you off.
Yeah.
Actors, commentators, news people, all calling for assassination. This is bull. That needs to quit right now. Just Twitter's just flooded with this malarkey.
Have you seen these people that are going? They don't want to move to Canada because it's still close to us, so they want to move to Alaska or Hawaii.
The Alaskans know what to do with them. The Hawaiians live Hawaii.
It's still in the U.S. It's like,
right.
What's your? Are you kidding me?
I just want to move to a resort because I don't like the president that got elected.
Get a map, man.
Hey, let me tell you something, folks. If you go on there and start talking about killing our president, I say a lot of crazy things on the radio, this, that, and the other, and I'll put it out there. But when you start talking about assassinating president, I don't care whose side it's on, and the Secret Service comes there to kick a fence post up you, and you end up in jail, don't wonder why you ended up in jail when you start asking people to assassinate someone. I'll talk about the revolution, all this started. It's metaphorical. But when you start asking people to put a bullet in an individual, you're crossing the line. So don't do it, you knuckleheads. Look, we need to take a break and pay some bills. You're listening to Cenmass on 96.7 FM, 1400 AM, Power Talk Radio. The Power.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Cenmass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here again is Rod Williams.
That's right. That's who we are. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms, located at 2135 West Whitendale in Visalia at Mooney, behind the 76 station. You can call the store, 734-2767, 734-ARMS. Questions are free. Stupid questions cost $0.25. Lots of big things coming soon. You'll soon be able to hear this show and a lot of podcasts, a lot of other stuff we do on Cenmass.com, Cenmass.com. There will be a lot of other content on the website for you to enjoy. There'll also be links to stuff on Facebook and what am I looking for, Dave? What's the other thing? Not Facebook, but YouTube and all that. There'll be cool videos, gunsmithing, shooting, all kinds of stuff. We hope to do a lot of stuff. I'm going to be a very busy guy. You can hear our cool Cenmass Hear the Truth videos. It's going to be cool. That's Cenmass.com. Check us out on Facebook, U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms. Call the show now at 247-2255. That's 247-CALL. We want to know what you think. We always want to know what you think. You'll be able to interact with us on the web, too, through Facebook and other means. We want to know if you're going to comply with Gunmageddon, High Cap magazine ban. You're going to give your magazines away to the politicians or the authorities. Are you going to register your ARs as assault rifles, or use the AR maglock, or reconfigure your rifle with a different stock and muzzle brake, so thereby not even needing a bullet button? If you want to know about how to do this stuff, contact us. We're going to try to keep you legal and keep you safe. We want to know what you're going to do. You can come see us about it at U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms. We'll try to help you out. Speaking of guns, did you know the U.S. is the top country for gun ownership in the world? And we're not even in the top 10 for gun deaths. That's right. This is off of Breitbart. I got this off there a couple of weeks ago. I just never got around to it. October 22nd, the Telegraph published a map showing U.S. leads the world in private firearms ownership. They supposedly 112.6 per 100 residents, so that's more than a gun per resident. Serbia's next, Yemen, Switzerland, Cyprus, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. You wouldn't think that. I guess everyone in Iraq needs a gun. Uruguay, Sweden, Norway. Now you talk about gun deaths. You got Honduras, number 1, Venezuela, Swaziland, Guatemala, Jamaica, El Salvador, Colombia, Brazil, Panama, Uruguay. What do most of these countries I just named have in common, Mr. Barkley? They send a lot of illegal aliens into our country, and they got very few guns and many gun deaths. And what's wrong with that picture? In our law-abiding country, for the most part, we don't. Of course, the liberal media wouldn't let you.
Where do you think all the
know
guns
that.
would come here if we tried to ban them? Right up through
Yeah,
South
let's just
America.
kick everybody who shoots people into the U.S. and then that'll tone it down. Australia, Australia had their gun buyback and basically took everyone's guns in Australia. First they registered them just like they want to do here. Then when they knew where they were, they went after them all. That's just what the liberals want to do here. And the government in Australia admitted that hundreds of thousands of illegal firearms remain in criminal possession. Oh, what a surprise. Criminals didn't turn them in. Only the law-abiding people did. And so now they have a bigger gun crime rate because now the criminals don't have to worry about someone shooting back. And they didn't give theirs up. In September, it was reported that Melbourne, Australia had a gun problem. They had witnessed more than one shooting a week on average since January 2015. Moreover, it's reported known criminals were caught with firearms, and I won't give you all the details, 755 times. This is just in Melbourne, compared to 143. 755 times criminals were caught with guns in 15, compared to 143 and 11 before the gun ban and confiscation. So what's that tell you, folks? I know the liberals hate statistics, and they really hate to hear Hillary Clinton's favorite example of gun control, which is Australia. It isn't working there. And the world's a dangerous place. Human beings are full of sin. They kill each other. They do this stuff. The inanimate object of a sport gun has nothing to do with it. It's emotion, it's ideology, it's a lot of other things that drive it, but you can't blame it on the gun. The merry-go-round of gun confiscation, as it's going in Australia, is you confiscate them, a law-abiding citizens turn them in, criminals don't. Then you grant amnesty to criminals, trying to get them to turn them in again, or maybe you buy them back and they turn them in, then they get cheaper illegal ones, and it's just a stupid merry-go-round of idiocy. Y'all criminals run right down and turn them in now, because that's what we want you to do, and that's not how it works. This is coming to California.
Well, I hate that they try to compare us to these other countries that have like a third of the population we have, and it's just crazy that it's been like that. And even here in our own country, though, there's so many examples of when of other states that. Like Florida, for example, that when they were getting crime ridden, I don't know if you remember about 15 years ago when they were getting hammered by people that were coming in and tourism, it just came to a standstill because of
spit it out, man.
I got caught off guard there. But the carjackings and everything else, and then they implemented the concealed carry. And all of a sudden, crime went to nothing.
Yeah,
and
when you can
it was
fight
just
back.
Amazing. Yeah.
Look at these protesters. What do? It's always a bunch of people beating on some poor white guy who's old, defenseless, or whatever. Put a gun in that guy's hand, and all of a sudden he don't take that beating.
Yep.
Duh! Isn't that hard to wrap your head around? Okay, so what does Proposition 63 mean? It's mostly a magazine ban and an AR confiscation. Let's look at it.
But it's about ammo too.
Well, you know what? Let's look at SB 80. What does SB 80 mean? Senate Bill 80. That's the one that they passed without the voters' approval, and it didn't make any difference. Proposition this year, they're going to do it to you either way. I don't want to get into. I'm going to kind of save this for another show because we're kind of low on time. So I'm going to just go through it real quick, and we're going to come back on another show and really go into it in detail. But, is what it is it's an assault weapon, theoretical. There is no assault weapon's a machine gun. We don't have any assault weapons in the hands of Americans, but they call them assault weapons. They define them any way they want. And it's a ban on that. So you're going to have to reconfigure them. What does it mean to own one? After this ban, is you'll be criminalized if it's configured in a certain way with what they call evil features for the strip, for the thing. If you register them as assault weapons, if you're that stupid, then when you die, you have to turn your gun in and give it away again to government confiscate your property.
I have a quick question on that.
Okay.
So they say, okay, so they already have your AR-15 on file. So they're already going to see it as an assault weapon. Well,
no, you have to register it. If you don't register it, they'll never see it. They're not that smart to have all that correlated that way. So just because you bought one, they're not going to come looking for the one you bought because you're going to change the features of it to where it doesn't meet that criteria. Where you get the felony is to fail to register the one you bought. But it's a different type of registration than what you did when you bought it. It's pretty convoluted.
That's what I'm saying. If you have an AR-15, are they automatically going to assume that now you own an assault weapon and you have to come in here and register it as an assault weapon?
They're not. They would have to come looking for it. I'm not saying that can't happen someday, but that's not likely to ever happen.
Okay.
They would have to come looking for it. But should they have reason to encounter you with it, and it's not configured properly, and you haven't met the deadline, then you will be a felon. Gotcha. They want to make felons out of gun owners just by making different rules and catching you off guard, and this is what they're doing. But you're going to reconfigure it. That's what I'm going to say. We need more time to go into these features and feature lists. But you're going to have to reconfigure stuff, and there might even be something you can do with your AR pistols. And in the long run, it doesn't mean bolt-action guns. It doesn't mean 22 calibers. It doesn't mean pistols, standard pistols like Glocks and Springfields and stuff like that. It's about ARs. The magazines that you own previous to the magazine ban and whenever that was a few years ago, that grandfathered in as high cap. Now you're supposed to relinquish all of those, and that's some of those are worth $80, $100 a piece.
Absolutely.
That cost people hundreds of dollars. They're supposed to give the government, again, stealing your wealth, much like property taxes. There will be a way to buy strip lowers, continuing on, people, you do not need to get in a panic and run down and try to buy strip lowers that are all sold out. Don't lose any sleep over it. I'm just telling everybody out there listening, you don't need to buy a strip lower right now. It's not all that imperative that you do that. So, it's a lot to go into, and we can't just do that all on one show. So know that we're going to hit on it again, but that's the basics of it. Proposition 63, kind of the same thing. The big one on 63, again, it kind of had a lot of other stuff included, like who can loan a rifle? What do you do if one gets stolen? The big one on 63, these things got multiple facets to them. The big one on 63 is it's basically going to drive the price of your ammunition way up, because you can't just go down and buy it. You gotta buy it through a dealer, and it's going to make a bunch of arduous paperwork. Again, we'll have to hit on that, but it's going to make it really hard on the dealers and really hard to buy ammunition. It's going to drive the price up. Look, that's it, folks. It's time to get out of here. You can't beat up on me anymore, and I can't beat up on you. Thanks for listening. I'm Rod Williams, my friend Greg Barkley. Pat yourselves on the back for sticking up that giant middle finger at the establishment, global elitist political ruling class. That was your vote for Donald Trump. Please remember, freedom is never free. Participate in the debate and vote. Get out with that family and shoot. Work hard and pray without ceasing. God bless you. Jesus rocks.